Spring 2023 anime season. We've got some bangers. We've got Hell's Paradise, The Incredible Oshi no Ko, even my sweet Prince Boji has made a comeback. All bangers. Well, at least that's what I've heard. Well, you see, I'm not actually watching any of these. Instead, I'm spending my time with a country girl in the city, an attractive gamer guy, and a mangaka who accidentally becomes engaged to his assistant. These three anime aren't going to set the world on fire, but hot dog are they amazing comfort food for me right now. When I go into a rom-com, I go in with extremely low expectations. Usually this works out in my favor. I end up just having a good time laughing at the ridiculousness of the situations or being pleasantly surprised by a heartfelt romance. With my love story with Yamada at level 999, I get the best of both worlds. There's definitely some insane situations, but it's the quality of the anime itself that impressed me. The anime opens with our main character getting dumped in public, pretty trashy. This is Akane Kinoshita, and her heart has been broken. Her boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, found himself a new girl in an online game, but unlike your RuneScape girlfriend from when you were 12, she's real. This online game being an MMO called Forest of Savior, a game that her boyfriend introduced her to in the first place, and they played it together just to add fuel to the fire. Akane decides to let off some steam and boot off FOS and do a little hunting in-game. Run! Flee, goddammit! Flee! Another player witnesses this massacre and asks if she's grinding for a rare drop here too. This is Yamada, her guildmate. She explains to Yamada that she is hunting to distract herself from her cheating ex, and it's because of the game that her boyfriend cheated on her in the first place. Yamada don't care though. If you aren't grinding, then you're wasting my precious gaming hours. He brushes off her dilemma and unkindly asks her to leave the hunting ground if she isn't using it for the intended purpose. Akane lets out a passive-aggressive wall of text assault against Yamada. But Yamada is a capital G gamer. He's seen worse and simply responds with, "Yamada, kirai!" Akane wallows in her sadness for a little bit, but it's not long until she launches her counterattack for revenge against her ex. She plans to dress to the nines and show up at an IRL event for Forest of the Savior that her ex is supposed to be attending, hoping that he'll see her looking like a 10 and regret his decision. When she lays eyes on her target at the event, she bumps into someone who reminds her of Yamada. He speaks just like he types, and that's because it is Yamada. She learns that Yamada is actually a major league gamer and famous locally. She uses this as an opportunity to do the old fake boyfriend trick to make her ex feel super jealous. She has to bribe Yamada with some prio gems, but he eventually plays along. It works for a bit, but his new girlfriend cheers him up, I think. I don't know what this is. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but her plan definitely didn't work. One thing leads to another, and Akane tries to drown her sadness in alcohol. And this is where things start to get juicy, because when she comes to after a night of boozing, she finds herself in Yamada's bed. From here, shenanigans and romance ensues where we see Yamada's and Akane's relationship grow. We also get to meet the other guildmates from Forest of the Savior in the real world too, and they're all really fun characters, except for this little girl. Screw this little girl. They forgave her way too fast. What she did was literally a crime. Screw this girl. Sorry, I just really don't like her. My love story with Yamada at level 999 surprised me with its animation and character designs. What's really fun about watching this show are the transitions that they sometimes do between these scenes and the flashy bumpers that they always do. Like this one, for example. Or this. They do fancy stuff like this all the time, and I always find it cool and creative the way they make transitions feel fun. If you like shoujo or just like getting overly invested in something that isn't asking you to get overly invested, I'd highly recommend watching Yamada. Huh? Whoa. What's that? Wholesome anime alert! This is a galaxy next door. It's about a young mangaka who works hard to take care of his family being his two adorable little siblings. This is Ichiro Kuga, the manga artist I mentioned. And he's in desperate need of a new assistant after his old one decided to start their solo career. I mean, good for them, but these manga panels aren't going to draw themselves. Desperate for an assistant, Ichiro's editor gets him in touch with a promising newbie artist. This is Shiori Goshiki, and Ichiro puts her to work immediately and finds that she's a natural, skillful, and fast. She's hired. But there's more to this straight-faced lady that meets the eye. You see, she's a princess from a far-off island who is able to telepathically communicate with her people, and if you touch her stinger, you become betrothed to her. Yeah, I know that sounds pretty wacky, but A Galaxy Next Door is anything but, trust me. Even when suddenly being thrown into marriage, Ichiro handles the situation with maturity and always thinking about his younger siblings and what's best for them. The relationship between them blossoms naturally, and Goshiki, being a sheltered princess who learned about romance through manga, approaches the relationship with Ichiro with such innocence. But these kids, Ichiro's younger siblings, are the most wholesome parts of the show. Even though Ichiro's doing a fantastic job taking on the parental role, he's still their brother at the end of the day, and his younger siblings take care of him as much as he does them. I have nothing against fan service, as you may or may not know, but it's honestly refreshing to watch an anime where the female love interest isn't over-sexualized, and the dude involved isn't doing questionable stuff to her all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, Shiori's beautiful, but they aren't making it weird. It might be because the target audience is shoujo, but it's funny to me that the anime with adults is less sexualized than the anime rom-coms that star kids. Out of all the anime this season though, this one has got to be the most wholesome. It's also a sincere story about friendship, being true to yourself, and the challenges that come with a new environment. Skip and Loafer stars Mitsumi Iwakura as she leaves the countryside to attend a prestigious high school in Tokyo, Japan, all in pursuit of her dream to make Japan a better place. When she arrives in Tokyo, she definitely feels like a fish out of water and gets lost on her first day of school. While at the train station, she runs into a boy wearing her school uniform. He's in the same situation as her and they travel to school together. This is Sosuke Shima, and he becomes Mitsumi's first friend. Sosuke is very popular with the ladies, and one look at him you could tell why. So his unlikely friendship with Mitsumi makes things a little turbulent in her first couple of days at school. But as she navigates the difficult transition from country to city, she makes friends along the way that are lost in their own way. Mitsumi wears her heart on her sleeve, and her infectious determination and sincerity brings out the true sides of those she interacts with. Sosuke's true identity being the most interesting to uncover. Despite his kindness, popularity, and general laid-back nature, he doesn't seem to be truly happy. And as time goes on, it's clear that he's hiding a darker history and side to himself that is holding him back from being truly open with Mitsumi and his other classmates. Mitsumi and Sosuke have such a grounded and realistic relationship that you don't really see often in this type of anime. Sure, they have those cliche high school romance moments, but they also fight, get in their heads about the silly things that they said to one another, but then they make up and move on stronger than before. The amount of effort and care that went into the animation for this series is also incredible. Like in episode 1, when the students are getting ready for their first day, their clothes and bodies move so naturally, it's amazing. And of course, the opening dance number is just on another level. Mitsumi's aunt Nao-chan is also trans. I don't have anything to add to that, I just thought it was cool. Obviously, if you aren't already watching these anime, this video is me trying to get you to give these a try. Hopefully you find as much enjoyment out of one of these shows as I did. But I also wanted to end with this. If it weren't for influencers and YouTubers like Giga, Totally Not Mark, Super Eyepatch Wolf, The Anime Man, etc., there are countless stories that I would have never known about and decided to experience for myself. They and those like them have put great stories on my radar and thus helped me find some of my favorite stories I may have never found otherwise, and I'd love to do the same. That said, no one told me to watch these 3 anime I just recommended to you. I saw them on the spring 2023 anime list and thought they looked cool and decided to watch them. Go out there and find stories for yourself. Find an anime that you weren't told to watch and watch it. There's something really special about discovering a story for yourself. I found that it feels so much more personal that way. For me, most recently, it was Princess 9. I got super attached to the characters and enjoyed the heck out of it. And I didn't even know it existed until I saw it on Crunchyroll randomly one afternoon. Is it the most amazing anime I ever saw? No, but I feel attached to it because I found it one random afternoon and I liked it. And I have my own story associated with finding it as well. And that makes it even more special to me. So yes, I hope you give these shows a try because I think they're worth your time, but I also encourage you not to wait for the next big thing, and just watch something that you think looks cool. Maybe you could recommend me something next time. As long as it's not something like this. I will commit a crime if it's anything like this. Anyways, until next time, later will be greater.